Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do another drawing tutorial, and this time I'm gonna show you the first steps of learning to design a creature from a real animal. People have been asking me to draw a horse but make it evil. So I'm gonna show you how to draw the horse, but we're gonna add a few extra features to take that first step towards creature design. I start by drawing the shape of the head. I work very loose and playful because in this phase it doesn't matter if all the lines are placed correctly. Imagine a small circle for the mouth and a larger one for the jaw. If it helps you, you can lightly draw these in and erase them later. I outline the shape of the head and draw a circle where the ear is located. I also draw in the position of the eye and then continue the outline. I add a bit more shape to the ear and the eye, and I draw in the nostril. And then we're gonna add an extra feature to this horse, and that is giving it a pair of tusks. For now I only draw the shape of the tusk, and then I start drawing in some of the rough details of the horse. Notice how the ears of the horse are pinned back. With horses this can be a sign of fear, pain or aggression, and we want our horse to look evil, so we're gonna use that. Horses are not aggressive by nature, but we want our creature to have a darker side. Maybe this one hunts in packs or they manipulate their riders. The mane of the horse is flowing backwards in the wind because I'm imagining it galloping through a storm searching for its victims. And this is how I let my creativity flow. I imagine what the creature is like while I draw it, and this way I can experiment with my ideas. I often go back to the head and add more details, and when I don't know what else to add at this point, I just move to another part of my drawing and continue there. I add a bit of shading by hatching in some darker areas, just so that I know that these parts are in the shadows. Later on I will darken them more, but first we're gonna add more details to the horse. I also shade in the muscles of the neck. I often use this part of the horse's anatomy in my other creatures too. You can also see it in many of my dragons. Let's add some more shape to the hair so that it really flows in the wind, and then we go back to adding more shadows. While hatching the shadows of the neck, I keep in mind that the neck isn't flat but round. So I shade the lines on top in that shape like this. I often revisit areas where I have already been to emphasize the lines that I'm pleased with to balance out the drawing. Also adding more features to the head, and you can see that slowly the personality of the horse is starting to show. Our sketch is becoming less and less flat while we keep pouring more life into it. We continue shading the areas that are darker by using a hatching technique. At this point we keep switching between shading, emphasizing lines and adding more details. I add more wrinkles around the mouth because horses have that very soft velvety snout with a lot of wrinkles. Here we also need to keep in mind that the root of the tusk would be visible, especially because it's pointing a bit outwards, so the horse can still close its mouth. By shading we make sure the round shape of the tusk is visible under the skin. If you enjoyed this tutorial so far, please make sure to like and subscribe and try some of my other tutorials. I also have some videos in real time, so you can draw along at a slower pace with some more in-depth explanation. And if you have some requests or questions about drawing fantasy creatures, please let me know in the comments so I can keep them in mind for future videos. At this point of our drawing we have all our basic shapes in, and we keep narrowing down the details and the shading. Don't forget to darken the line art where you want it to remain visible, otherwise it would get lost in the shading. This creature is still more horse than something new, but giving it an expression and adding one feature, in this case the tusk, is your first step towards creature design. You could also turn this one into a unicorn, or maybe draw the ears a lot larger. You could make a couple of these sketches with different ideas or mix them all together. With drawing fantasy the possibilities are endless. I'm gonna shade some more, but this time with a 2B pencil. I hatch with the side of the tip so the lines are thicker, and with this pencil we can go a lot darker. This will really bring out the shadows and give more contrast to our drawing. I often get the question, how much shading is enough? How do you know you're done? Well, there is only one way to find out, and that is by overdoing it. Ruin some of your sketches on purpose so you can learn when you are rendering them too dark. With this same pencil we're going over our entire shading and add some more darker areas. It will create depth and make our drawing more 3D. In this drawing I'm mostly shading by using the hatching technique. This technique is fast and it works very well in our sketches. When shading I keep in mind the direction of the muscles and bone structure, and in the mane I make sure to shade in the direction of the hair. And this is basically the end sprint of our drawing. We keep shading and adding details till we're satisfied. And this is our sketch of an evil horse. It's still 90% a horse, but it's good practice to start your creature design by adding a new feature to an existing animal. If you want to learn more about how I design my creatures, check out my Patreon, the link is in the description. And if this tutorial was helpful to you in any way, please make sure to watch some of my other tutorials. I also have one of a dragon based on a Velociraptor, so that is a fun one to try next. Thank you for watching and I'll see you with the next one.